So I want to finish off by just describing 3 simple ways in which you can use probabilities when making your decisions. The first way is simply to set a threshold. So, for example, you might say, well, I'm only going to ask this person out on a date if I think that there's a 60% chance that they will say yes. And the great thing about this method is, of course, that everybody can set their thresholds differently at different levels depending on how desperate you are to go on a date and how much you hate being rejected. The second way to make decisions on the basis of probabilities is bet sizing. And this means betting an amount that is proportional to your confidence. So, for example, you could decide to buy more or less shares in various companies depending on how strongly you believe that each company was going to do well. But this, of course, depends crucially on having an appropriate degree of confidence. Overconfidence is going to be fatal here. So again, you can only use this method of decision-making if you've got good risk intelligence. The third and most complex way of using probabilities when you make decisions is to use the concept of expected value. And expected value is an abstract concept. It doesn't refer to any actual win or loss. It refers to the average amount that you would win or lose if you placed the same bet an infinite number of times. But this ethereal, abstract figure takes on an almost physical nature for the expert gamblers that I've interviewed. When they look at a roulette table or a blackjack game, the expert gamblers don't see the maximum amount that they could win or lose. They're not hypnotized by this like the rest of us. They just see the average amount that they could win or lose per bet, the expected value. That's what really is at the forefront of their mind. And by placing their decisions, as it were, by thinking about this decision in this way, in the terms of expected value, they place their decisions in the context of a much longer time horizon. In the long run, as Keynes said, we're all dead. So even expert gamblers are mortal, and they have finite number of decisions. But, despite what the guy said in the video that we just watched before we broke about the importance of, remembering we're mortal, that does have a disadvantage. It tends to make people reckless. If you think this is the last race, the last roll of the dice, you might bet everything on it. The expert gamblers, in a sense, by seeing things in a much longer time horizon, almost act as if they were immortal. And because of that, they kind of gain a certain coolness about their decision-making. They can take it or leave it. As one expert gambler told me, there's always another race. I don't have to bet my bank roll on this throw of the die or this horse race now. I can come back tomorrow.